What's going on, beautiful people? It's your boy here, Westy from A Connection TV here on YouTube and watchactv.com, the two places on the World Wide Web where we actually adopt similar connections despite our differences. And welcome to my channel. If this is your first time seeing me, I don't know where you've been. I've been doing this thing for almost 20 years. Kinda don't look like it. Yeah, I'm getting up there in age. But anyway, follow me on all my social medias, Instagram and Twitter at A Connection TV. Letter A, word connection, word TV. All one word, A Connection TV. Now, let's get into DaBaby. Now, quite a few views on my last video about DaBaby, and the comments were, for the most part, positive with some mixture in there, a little salt and the Kool-Aid in there. First thing I want to talk about is, I know what Rollin Loud is. I was just being sarcastic. I was being me. It's my weird way of being humorous, my sense of humor, okay? I know of quite a few of the artists that, you know, performed. That was my way of just saying I don't really care about the music that they're putting out, okay? So that's my dry sense of humor. Actually, I can't think about it, and whatever else was said, but you know, freedom of speech, right? Everybody got freedom of speech, power to the people. Anyways, I wanted to do this video real quick because celebrities are responding to, you know, DaBaby, and DaBaby, aka Jonathan, is getting a lot of backlash. But Jonathan does not seem to give an F, a big F in caps. But it's karma. Is it karma? Is it karma? Are we happy that this black man is receiving the backlash? Do we care because he's a black man receiving backlash? Straight people, a lot of straight people still don't get it. But what was so awesome is when I saw a black woman come out and speak her piece. A black, straight, HIV and AIDS negative black woman come out and speak her piece. None other than Miss Tammy Roman came out and spoke her mind about it. And she said the same thing that quite a few other people said. You know, we're speaking on something that doesn't necessarily pertain to us, but that's the whole power of freedom of speech. You know, everybody can talk about something that necessarily pertains to us, because that's what it was on the comments. Somebody was like, well, if you don't know what the Rollin Loud is, why are you even talking about it? If you don't know who performed, why are you even talking about it? Because I can. Same way that DaBaby doesn't know, allegedly, doesn't know anything about HIV and or AIDS, and doesn't know anything about fellas giving fellatio in the parking lot. Just like he can talk about it, I can talk about it too. But the difference is, I don't know if DaBaby knows anybody that has had to deal with the, you know, the health complications or the virus, but I do. I've been around them. I've dated them. My second relationship was a failed attempt at love, pretty much. But I firmly believe that the man lied about his status, or didn't tell me about his status, because back then I was oblivious to HIV and AIDS and didn't really care about it to get tested regularly. But I wasn't out there having, you know, unprotected sex. You know, I was still aware that, you know, condoms were important to a certain degree anyway. And in my relationship, I was having protected sex. I know my face is like, what? But back then, it made sense to do that. And even now it makes sense to do that. You know, now people have PrEP and all that stuff. Anyways, but back then I wasn't really protected. I wasn't really aware of HIV being in the vicinity that close in my relationship to possibly affect me. And so we always had condom sex. I'm glad I did, you know, because I was so dumb back then that I wasn't really thinking about it, that if I were to have unprotected sex with him, that I could have, you know, gotten the virus potentially, because I really believe that he knew he had it, but he just didn't tell me, and we never really had conversations about it. How dumb is that, right? And so, you know, even being in that close proximity to possibly being affected by it, I still love the man. Isn't that so twisted? Like, I probably need to do a story time about that video, about that, because it was just really twisted, because he cheated, he was cheating, and it was a lot going on. one's underneath this video if you want me to do a story time about that whole situation, because his boyfriend at the time, when I was his boyfriend and he was living with me, walked up on me on the street talking about, are you dating such and such? Anyways, back to DaBaby. It was great to see Tammy Roman come out, or it felt comforting to see Tammy Roman come out. A cisgender black woman who isn't personally affected by the virus, speak on it. And she was like, it was very insensitive. And she used the same word that I used in her video, ostracizing. He ostracized a community of people for no reason. And that's what a lot of people, that was the question that a lot of people had. Tammy Roman, T.S. Madison, why? What was the reason? And that's what I said in my video. What was the reason? What was the reason? Nobody knows what the reason is. And DaBaby doesn't even know what the reason is. He was just on a rant and thought that he was gonna like spark what do you call it? A call to action. Well, people have been called and they are actioning, baby. They are actioning. You got people like Tammy Roman speaking out against DaBaby. You got people like Dua Lipa speaking out against DaBaby. And Dua Lipa is a big artist. And, you know, to have her speak out against you and it's like, ouch. Dua Lipa goes to say, I'm surprised and horrified at DaBaby's comments. I really don't recognize this as the person I worked with. I know my fans know where my heart lies and that I stand 100% with the LGBTQ community. We need to come together to fight the stigma on ignorance around HIV and AIDS. With Victoria Monet chiming in, if she would like to replace DaBaby's verse on Levitating, I'm totally available. Then you have Elton John coming through to speak his piece. And we all know that Elton John is like one of the figureheads, I guess, for the LGBTQ community. He's an openly gay artist and has been in the industry for a very long time. Elton John probably has a lot of power and connections. I don't know. I ain't around a brother to know what he's talking about. But he went out to go and talk about some of the statistics with HIV and AIDS and how we as a people, especially public figures, need to promote accurate, factual information about the virus instead of spreading it out there like, you know, spreading misinformation like we know what we talking about. And what made matters worse with DaBaby is that he went out on his Instagram and was saying like, and this straight people is where he made the connection with the virus to gays. When he set out his mouth, my gay fans aren't nasty, aren't junkies, aren't out there, you know, whatever, and getting the virus. My gay fans know better. My gay fans have class. If they're gonna be sucking D in the parking lot, they're gonna get they're not gonna do that. They're gonna get a hotel 5-star. Like, that's what his response to what he said made things worse. Okay? And then you have people like Demi Lovato coming out, who I believe is non-binary, who by majority of straight people don't even understand what non-binary means. I believe that Demi Lovato likes to be referred to as them, they, you know, which a lot of people don't understand, and I necessarily don't understand it either. I just say, do you? If that's what you want, cool. I ain't got nothing to say about it in terms of going against you. But I don't have to understand it. I don't have to be in that same mental space to respect someone. You know what I'm saying? Even if non-binary falls, you know, under the LGBTQ elemental P structure, it doesn't mean that I understand what everyone goes through, but it doesn't mean also that I have the right to disrespect them. I can't remember or recall any gay celebrity that has come out and said straight people need to stop doing this in their music, or straight people need to do this, or straight people like. Gay people never really attach the word straight to what anybody needs to be concerned with. Why? Because it's been our lives, it's been shoved in our throats since birth. Okay? So we live in a world of straights. The reason why it's so difficult for gays, non-binary, trans, It's so many that I can't even think of them all right now. Pansexuals, asexuals, it's so many, right? The reason why we're fighting to come through is because this world was built on straights and straight mentality and straight knowledge and boy meets girl and, you know, the Bible and all of that. And it's just been very difficult that if you don't fall in under that umbrella, that you are wrong and you're going to hell and all the negative things are attached to you if you're not under the straight umbrella. So, you know, it's important that we as a people talk about the respect that everyone on earth deserves, whether or not you understand their livelihood or not. Because you wouldn't want anyone to speak against your livelihood or the lack thereof, depending on what you do with your life. You see what I'm saying? So back to Dua Lipa though. I saw comments where people were like, you know, and DaBaby was liking comments and speaking on it that, you know, Dua Lipa is a culture vulture and that, you know, she was profiting off of the hip hop lifestyle and all of that. No, not really. Not really. I don't think that was the case. Just like DaBaby has made mention that he can work with and do whatever he wants to do regarding his business in regards to Tory Lanez. The same thing, Dua Lipa can look at her business and be like, this is not a smart business decision to be associated with somebody that's, you know, talking about a community. And then I saw on various blogs, I'm not going to point them out, where they were saying that Dua Lipa didn't have anything to say when DaBaby killed a man, or didn't have anything to say when DaBaby hit a woman or anything like that. What people need to realize is that those are isolated situations that aren't affecting a full community. You know what I'm saying? That like when it came out that he shot a man, it would have been different if it came out that he shot up the whole mall or he shot up the whole church or whatever. But he apparently, allegedly, killed the man in defense. That's not affecting the whole community. You know what I'm saying? Or he hit a woman, apparently, allegedly. I'm not gonna read up on it because I really don't care about DaBaby like that. You know what I'm saying? And this is fact. I'm not gonna read up on it because I don't care. I'm gonna talk about the general situation, right? And so he hit a woman because the woman was flashing something in his face and trying to take a picture or whatever the case may be. That's not affecting the community of women. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why Dua Lipa apparently maybe didn't make a big stink about his track record because it wasn't affecting the community. But when you come out and affect a community or talk about a community or down or ostracize a community, not just gays, because HIV and AIDS affects everyone, then yes, that's affecting my bag and I no longer want to be associated with you. Period. So shout out to Victoria Monet. Shout out to Tammy Roman. Shout out to Elton John. Shout out to Dua Lipa. Shout out to, you know, Demi Lovato for standing up for communities of people where DaBaby is completely drilling himself further, digging himself further in the ground against a community of people. And for all the straight people out there that are still so ignorant about the concept of how freedom of speech is different than blatantly disrespecting a core community of people, especially a core community of people that probably, you know, supply you with the money that you throwing around on stage, I really don't know what to say to you. I think it won't make sense to straight people until people other than straights come out against straight people. Maybe they might feel something. Maybe it might be like, oh, I understand now. But then again, it probably won't because they've lived in a world that's been built on straights and straight mentality for so long that, you know, thinking other than that is probably damn near impossible at this point, right? Because that's what you call not having an open mind, being closed-minded, right? It is what it is. Apparently, DaBaby is also losing clothing deals. Boohoo Man decided to pull out in support of, you know, the LGBT community. I never heard of Boohoo Man, and this is not me being funny. I really never heard of Boohoo Man. The clothing in the pictures looked cool. Well, the clothing was meant, but the pictures look hot. So DaBaby in the pictures look hot. You know, he still look a little off in the face. And you know what? The one thing that always mattered to me with DaBaby was the fact that he always have his ass out. I don't know if anybody realized it, but every time he come out on stage, his ass is out for the men to see. I know, yeah, some women like ass too, but mainly men like that shit. And so when the rappers come out and they ass is dunking and out, like, you know, all the black men that do this on stage, they ass out with the white dungaree, the right underoos. Y'all ain't making it no better to the gays, you know. And to be honest, that's why a lot of gay people like or look at DaBaby, because his ass is always out. I don't know why. I will never understand that. That's one thing I don't get about straight people or people in general, because not only straight people that do that, but majority of y'all be straight or fronting like y'all straight. It's really the DL men. Really the DL men behind their ass cheeks out. You know, but it be just act. It just be act. You do walk out. You literally look in the mirror, pull the pants under your ass, and it just be out. If anybody is straight watching this, can somebody tell me why men walk around with their ass out, their ass cheeks just act? I don't know. I don't understand that. But anyway, boo-hoo man said boo-hoo to DaBaby, and to be quite honest, it is what it is. But DaBaby's still deflecting and doesn't really understand the gravity of what he said. And he came out with this fake low apology, you know, saying that he didn't mean it, and to the people he affected and da-da-da, it's bad, he apologized. But to the gay people, y'all know what it is. Nope, we don't. What is it? What is it? Is it, when you say we know what it is, you including yourself in that we? Is that how you subliminally saying I'm one of y'all? Because all of his actions are just suspect. All of his actions are, damn, this happened to me last night. Let me rant on stage real quick. Anyways, leave your comments below. Let me know what y'all think about all of the turn of events. You know, you just can't be out here publicly saying stuff no more. You can't. Am I saying cancel him? No. I never really was concerned about him to begin with. I never bought a song. I followed him because his ass was at. And I'm a man that like looking at booty cake. So that's why I followed him, but I unfollowed him. I can look at other booty cake. It's just there's so many other straight artists or artists in general that be having their booty cake out. But to be honest, no, again, that's me being stupid. But to be honest, I don't really follow the trend of the current male hip hop artists. I don't. None of them are cool. The only hip hop artist that I follow right now, that I support, that I've actually bought their music is J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Jay-Z, Kanye West, even though he a little, you know, a little crazy sometimes. I'm gonna start supporting, what's the boy that just did the song with Lil Nas X? Jack Harlow and Lil Nas X. Those are the only male rappers that I support. Mind you, I didn't say T.I., I didn't say DaBaby, I didn't say Lil Durk, I didn't say Lil Baby, I didn't say Moneybagg Yo, I didn't say the Jing Jang twins, whatever they call. I didn't say none of them, because I don't support their music. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I definitely support who support me, but I definitely support good music, in a sense of music that I could be proud of listening. And there's a lot of those rappers that I just named are in music or produce music that I can be proud of listening. So anyways, that's me on a rant. Leave your comments below. Let me know how you feel about it. And answer that question. Why do men show their booty cake when they, I don't understand, and I don't get it. And then, do you think that DaBaby should be canceled? Let me know. Deuces! I know. You're not about to think about not subscribing to aconnectiontv.com. Copyrighted.